Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble and on Patreon for extra support. Any kind of updates and the such, usually go about on Twitter X. I did manage to 1 day ago, give or take. Today it's Friday, so Wednesday I did the last the publishing of the last episode of Callisto Protocol gaming series. I will start a new one Monday. So today there is not going to be any kind of gaming series uploads in terms of episodes. I'm still trying to figure out a good way of having a sit down and play a little bit more demos. But then again, as an update, I'm still reeling a little bit on the shoulder side of things. So it's very uncomfortable sitting down for long periods of time. But yeah, other than that, everything seems to be going okay. Yeah, let's go to the news. Similarly, now we have an official confirmation of the official event, finally, of AMD unveiling their GPU lineup, so RDNA 4. It comes from David McAfee, is officially from AMD, corporate VP and general manager, client channel business at AMD. Okay. Again, February 28th, so last day of this month, so around 15 days or so at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, I'm not sure when this is on my time zone, but again, as soon as I watch this, I will give my opinions there. But again, this is going to be for first party information. And yeah, hopefully we also see at least into not only the GPU lineup, but also at least, I don't know, something regarding FSR4 in terms of the software that is going to support RDNA4. We're still not sure how it might go regarding the new X3D lineups, if they're going to announce them. Again, they usually are more to the gaming side of things in terms of the CPU, the X3D versions. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But at least officially, 9000 series is going to be announced in that event. Again, no official confirmation on when it's going to launch officially, but we are assuming that it's going to be revealed in this event. Yeah, finally we got some official information. Let's see how this goes. Hopefully we got a good product coming out when this comes out. We'll have to assume early March. Nvidia already delayed this 5070 non-TI to March 5th, if not mistaken. I'm assuming trying to steal the thunder or something like that from AMD. But yeah, hopefully we'll get a good event with at least some good information and see if the rumored numbers in terms of performance kind of match up uh, with the first party information, so we can get a kind of confirmation or not if there going to be any, uh, if we can expect something decent out of this. And with that said, there's also already starting some leaks in terms of performance of the especially 9070 XT. Supposedly, this is from a Chinese tester. This comes from a benchmark from Monster Hunter Wilds on the benchmark tool. Again, supposedly, again, taking into account this, again, hopefully this is all as it says here on the thing here. Supposedly Navi 48 again. The he posted and confirmed that again the supposed GPU was tested with the 9070 XT. Again, I'm not sure if there's going to be if it was an AIB card or not. Again, we'll have to assume it's kind of a reference card. But yeah, interesting things again. Again, supposedly, according to these numbers, 60 gigabytes of VRAM, 4096 SMs, or basically shader SMs, shader multipliers, something like that. I always forget how to pronounce that. Got a bus width of 256. The the memory is GDDR6, and we got the boost clock again. We already heard some numberings that the GPUs will be able to boost around to 3100 megahertz. But yeah, again, this is temporarily rumored, leaked information, so take it with a grain of salt here. What is interesting here is that this benchmark tool here, again with the current adrenaline version, so 24.30.01.05 drivers. Interestingly enough, also, what else can we say here? Again, this is in Mandarin. But I saw some videos here trying to translate this and try to reach a conclusion. Again, the benchmark tool here specifically on the graphic settings, it's a preset with FSR enabled and also with the frame generation. That's why we have, even at 1080p, this amount of FPSs. I saw Daniel Oman covering this and basically tried to test what he had on hand in terms of most similar system. It doesn't have a Ultra 9 285K. He tested with his own CPU that he has for benchmarking because he usually focus more on GPUs. He tested with a 9800 X3D and he tried to keep it up with a similar or most similar GPU that he has comparable to the 9070 XT, which it's not the same, but it's a 7900 XTX, and I think it's the reference card, so it doesn't boost that high and all that jazz. And he managed to, according to the translation here, it seems that he managed to get 2 FPS lower, so margin of error, kind of a test there. Again, doesn't mean anything to a certain degree, but it gives us an idea if these numbers are achievable or not. Again, we don't know. We don't know. We know that it's not from FSR4. It's not on this benchmark tool, so I assume that it's not. So it's not implemented. I think it has to do more with the boost clocks that it managed to reach peak highs. Again, this benchmark tool and again the to the moon engine tends to be a little bit more CPU limited. But even with the 9800 X3D, Daniel Woolman tested this. It didn't have a lot of CPU bottleneck just on the end of the benchmark tool when you enter the hub, the village hub. Usually it's when it starts loading routines and the such usually has a little bit more load on the CPU. But interesting enough, yeah, it's interesting. Again, if all these numbers match up, again, 1080p, we always, to a certain degree, are limited to a certain amount of CPU, even though on this testing, it was basically not limited to CPU. Here, we can be limited to the CPU unless this Intel CPU can overshadow in terms of performance, which I don't believe so on Monster Hunter Wilds regarding an AMD CPU here. But yeah, interesting stuff there. Um, this boost clock is a little bit higher than the so far kind of numbers that we had. There's been some rumblings that they are trying to achieve 3000 megahertz of boost clock on average, and we'll have to assume this kind of engineering sample or something like that, and somebody managed to play around with this. But yeah, interesting results. Again, I will not comment that much unless we have, I don't know, more benchmarks to have a better comparison. Again, Monster Hunter Wilds is a very new game. It's a little bit all over the place in terms of optimizations. If we have like our benchmarks or runs through other games that we kind of already know the numbers for kind of very different setups of PCs. I think we had a better idea, and the fact that it's 1080p again. It is what it is. We don't know if like 200 and something might be engine limitation. Also, we don't know. It would be better if also they could post or make benchmarks. I don't know, 1440p and 4K to have, I don't know, a better idea overall. But I will not take this number like this, an average of 210 frames per second, 1080p, again, upscaling with the high settings, which on the setup, I think it does use balanced quality of upscaling, if in FSR, if not mistaken. Again, I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, it's interesting to say the least. Again, only 15 days until we get a better sense of the lineup of what AMD might be able to do. Especially, again, my expectation that they will be able to compete very aggressively with the 70 class cards from NVIDIA. But yeah, let's go to other stuff here. Continue with Monster Hunter Wilds again. Open beta testing will start during today's time, and they give 24 hours plus on this round. So it's going to be from today till 17th of February. So next today here on the second round of the second open beta test. Again, this comes after the PSN was down for 24 hours. And again, they said there was operational issue. Yeah, we still don't know exactly what really happened there, unless somebody is like a whistleblower inside and tells what happened there. Uh, we have to assume that again it was an operational issue, whatever that means. Um, yeah, again, don't forget this beta test. While you play it, again, all the optimization, balance and adjustments that they are been doing on the main game, they are not reflected here. So you might experience a lot of I don't know, performance issues. Just for the moment being, turn up FSR and frame generation or whatever. I just hope that the optimizations are really good and did improve a lot. I'm not sure how much the benchmark tool reflects on those optimizations on the main game. But yeah, it's a little bit better. My conclusion from what I played from the first beta test and the benchmark tools, the couple of benchmarks that I tried to do, uh, it's a little bit better. Not that much, but it's a little bit better. But yeah, we'll have to see when the game launches, and hopefully all for the best, because I'm very interested in see if this is going to be worthwhile to like buy day one and start playing this game, because it's going to consume a lot of time for people that usually like this kind of games. Then we got on Elden Ring also, they're going to be the closed network test. It's going to start, and I completely forgot to highlight here on the site here. I hope I didn't highlight this here because again, I will not be able to do anything here because I don't have a console. But I think it's this weekend also, if not mistaken, or we are very very close. But I brought this article here from Facts to Life. Again, they are always on top regarding, especially from software games, and they have already kind of a guide. So if you're going to be able to play this network test. Again, I think they have access, and I think they gather also information from other players or other content creators that did some preview. A lot of people played like 6 to 8 hours of this game on the preview side of things, and all the information it's basically agglomerated here, and they give you basically a rough guideline of what to expect, what classes are best suited for you, probably, so you don't like waste too much time trying to tweak around and see what's best for you. At least I think with this guide you will have a better idea how to progress with the network test here. But yeah, very comprehensive. They're usually pretty good on this kind of situations here, especially in terms of RPGs and even from software games. I will leave it the link of the article in the description. Then you got Tides of Annihilation. Again, this game piqued my interest on the state of play. Again, this game will come to PC. And we got 11-minute gameplay video. Again, this is like very early build of the game, but still seems pretty fluid. Again, very interesting. I really enjoyed this. Seems to be the setup here is like the Arturial, kind of a twist on an Arturial legend and all that jazz. It's kind of, you supposedly go between modern world and the Spectre world or something similar to those kind of things. And then you get like huge boss battles. I think kind of style of Shadow of the Colossus kind of a thing, in that magnitude. And I think also in the early games of God of War, where they have to scale the boss and fight, it seems to be in that line. What else? The combat, it's very, it reminds me Devil May Cry, with a lot of combos. Very interesting how they went there. The only nitpick that I have is transversal through the exploration. There is exploration there, so trying to get around chests and everything. The only thing that it seems a little bit janky to a certain degree is a little bit of the transversal of the stages there. Seems, I think, a little bit more fluidity will suit a little bit best, but it's not bad per se. But yeah, it seems to have like huge scope on the level design also. Again, we got this picture here. I think you fight these kind of bosses, but you got mobs and everything. Then you got also bosses. On the closing, I think 3-4 minutes of this video, you got a boss fight. Very interesting. Again, pretty smooth. I'm pretty impressed, even though it's like early build of the game. But yeah, it's on my radar, that's for sure, and it's already on my wish list. Again, I really do recommend for you to give a check on this gameplay video here, because it's gameplay. It's always good to see some gameplay instead of just CGI trailers or trailers in game engine. With this kind of gameplay, you get a better sense of what this game is all about. In other stuff here, we got there was this thing, MindsEye announcement in the state of play. I remember seeing the name of this game somewhere. I don't know when, months ago. Yeah, this game seems to be not that good. Again, especially by the way they try to market this, which is GTA creators. Yeah, supposedly it's going to launch this summer. It seems like it's alpha staged in certain parts of the game. Very janky. Again, in terms of graphic fidelity for what they are trying to market, doesn't seem that good. Also, seems very bland of the setup, very generic. At least that's the sense that I get. But yeah, this Leslie Benzies, games director of MindsEye, former producer, again, creator, producer. I'm not sure what's the link there. But again, he was producer on GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas, GTA 4, and 5. So he worked a lot on this kind of games of GTA, which we all know how they are, open world games. But again, this is a game more story driven, and the action is more like corridor shooting to a certain degree, with some coverage mechanics there. Um, Trying to be very story heavy. Again, I'm not sure this is going to be a good game. I'm not very hopeful. But yeah, and then we got the talks that he goes here. Again, he gives a lot of corporate talk, trying to, I don't know, a little bit bullshit itself out of the way. He said, I've dedicated my entire career to crafting captivating, interactive entertainment to delight players. With Mind's Eye, we've pushed cinematic adventure to the next level. Again, this is never good when they start saying this. Building characters in a world that feels truly alive. We can't wait for players to step in and feel the immersive realism and tireless effort poured into every moment of the game. Again, this doesn't sound good to me. And again, the setup of the game set in Red Rock, a fictional desert metropolis in not too distant future. Mind's Eye tells a story of artificial intelligence, human greed, and the struggle for control that has brought the Earth to the brink of collapse. Again, very generic and bland. The setup of the thing doesn't have like a hook that again, maybe they think the hook here is artificial intelligence. Again, I'm not sure. But yeah, we're already tired with AI. Every conversation you have to put AI on it, so I'm not sure if this is the best hook to captivate people on this game here. um, then lastly, we got, just to wrap up here in terms of news, again, Ubisoft reveals net bookings declined over 50% in the first quarter compared to last year. Again, this comes, they first projected net bookings of around 626 million dollars, euros, sorry, which is even more than in dollars, and there was a decline of 50%. They had to adjust that just before this quarter to from 380 millions to 300 million, and they said that again, net bookings stood 301 million, in line with revised expectations. So they tried to make it sound kind of a good thing here, but yeah, from last year they had like double basically of the net bookings. So I suppose like raw income in terms of their IPs. But yeah, this revision from the 380, which was already revised from the 626 or around 600 they were expecting, they revised this to 380. Then they had basically cut down even more 80 million euros. Again, it's basically because Star Wars Outlaws was a shit show, and they are going to shut down X Defiant, which is again not good. Even though all of this, they think they are going to until the end of the year reach those net bookings of almost $2 billion. I don't think so. Again, Assassin's Creed Shadow, they say they have good pre-orders at the level of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Again, I'm not sure if that's good or bad, but yeah, this is going to Ubisoft is very, very, very screwed. Again, Yves Guillemot continues with this bullshitting, saying basically that for Assassin's Creed Shadows early previews are being positive, praising its narrative and immersive experience with both characters playing critical roles in the game storyline, as well as the quality and complementary of the gameplay provided by the dual protagonist approach. Again, I don't think so, but yeah, they need pick. They pay for influencers and content creators to speak well, so they can then put that as a reference to the shareholders. But what can we say there? Basically, it's going in line with the first. With when he said the same thing with Star Wars Outlaw, it's basically the same thing, just sharing with praise. Again, this is going to backfire immensely. I, I think they already should have taken steps to try and get their way to privatize themselves, because this is not this is going to be a huge blowback. I think by the end of the year we'll see. I don't know. The company will shut down and start trying to sell their IPs to the best buyer, but yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, ahead of the company's second quarter, reporters announced it was going to reduce its net bookings expectations by 30%. It's originally expected 500 million euros in net bookings in quarter two, but it's been reduced between 350 to 370 million euros. Eventually shared that its net booking for the quarter came in 352. Yeah, this is comes from after the Star Wars thing here. They were expecting like at least half a billion, and they have to revise to be between 350 to 370. So they basically, in terms of projections, they lost around almost 150 million euros in terms of net bookings, especially from Star Wars Outlaw. They thought that they had like a bank here, but yeah, it's going to backfire. The same thing here with nobody cares to a certain extent. Even I think they tried to reduce the role of the black gay samurai Yasuke. There's been the thing with the temple stuff that they're just smashing temples and didn't even ask authorization to put that temple because it's a copy of a very revered temple that there is in Japan. And they didn't ask any kind of authorization. Same thing with the Rifle Corps reenactment group. Again, it's been a fumble after another, and I don't think they're going to recoup after this. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how this will be unravel throughout the year. But yeah, this is what I got in terms of news. So let's go to good stuff, which is gaming deals. Again, Marvelous Midnight Suns is still on sale, 85% off. Again, step of approval for my part. I already did a gameplay series on this game. I did manage to claim it for free from Epic Game Store, but I do recommend the at least the base game. I think it's a very excellent one. If you like kind of XCOM 2 kind of games, I think this is one is for you. We still have also Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy on sale, 85% off. Again, very positive feedback from everybody. But yeah, it seems to be this is not based on the movie stuff. It's more in line with the twist from the comic book characters. At least that's the sense that I get. But yeah, it seems pretty good fun here. Got also Pacific Drive. It's now on sale, 40% off on the base edition of the game. Again, this got me. This is one of the games that I really want to try it out one of these days. We got also Baldur's Gate 3. It's still on sale, 20% off. We got Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut, 85% off. Again, it's a must buy. And also the same thing for the sequel, Mankind Divided. I usually recommend Digital Deluxe Edition. It's pretty cheap because everything is on sale here. I think it goes around $7 or $8 with all the DLC. And again, it's a pretty good game here. We got also XCOM Chimera Squad. It's kind of a spiritual successor to XCOM 2. It seems a pretty good game, even though it's got some mixed results here. I'm not sure why, but I don't think it's anything regarding performance. Again, it's not a very long game. It's not an XCOM 3 per se. It's got some twists and turns in terms of the gameplay systems. So it's not exactly like XCOM 2, but it seems to be pretty good. And with some twists on the turn-based formula that they experimented here. And of course, there is Steam Workshop for mods and everything else. But yeah, 85% off. I think it's an excellent deal here. And again, then we got XCOM 2 collection. Again, everything regarding XCOM 2 is here on the bundle. Very cheap. And yeah, I do recommend first playthrough vanilla style, so you can have good comprehension of how the system works, the classes and all that jazz. And then you, on the second one, you start modding this through to the guilds, to your content, and see how much far you can go on this game. On GOG, we got Deadlight Director's Cut. Again, this is a very interesting game. It's a very relatively short game. It takes around 5 to 6 hours, give or take. If you go with these, I think, if not mistaken, this is like one of the first games that I did a gameplay series on it. So it's on the playlist somewhere on the channel. It's a very old gaming series that I did here, but yeah, I still recommend this game. Even though, again, it's very cheap. You don't lose anything here. We got also Dredge. This is the standard edition, and we got also the other editions are also on the discount there. We got Jagged Alliance free, 50% off. Again, this is one of turn-based combat games that has good pedigree. The same guys that work on other mainline Jagged Alliances also work on this game, so I think it's a good buy here. And then lastly, we got Warworld. Again, I do recommend playing this game. I already played this game and finished it up. And I do recommend buying the DLC, which is Deep Threat. It adds a little bit more to the story and introduces some tweaks on the combat and gameplay systems. But yeah, if you like pixel art style, like a little bit of tower defense, some mining, some upgrades, roguelike, permanent upgrades, all that jazz, I think this game is a pretty good time spent here, and it's very cheap. Again, even when it's not on sale, I always one of those that I recommend. But yeah, that's it for today. I'm going to wrap up here with a plug on my Patreon for extra support. At this moment, that extra support is more in line for me to try and get a better storage solution, so I can get backups of stuff that I do for my clients, and also some extra storage for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.